CNBC Africa was at the world media launch of the World Economic Forum for Africa. This is as Nigeria is set to host the 24th edition in May 2014. Now, the WEF will provide Nigeria the opportunity to showcase its vast economic opportunities. CNBC Africa's Umu Ibrahim was present, and she talked to Inya Aga Gabriel Chukwuemile, who's the group head projects for Quickening Group, and they discussed how the private sector's participation will align with the WEF's theme of forging inclusive growth and creating jobs. Take a look.
The current government, with respect to both the president, the presidency, the economic team, I think they're doing a very good job with respect to approaching the job creation in Briglio from an integrated viewpoint. I think what they're doing is actually totalitarian in the sense that back earlier on you probably had a situation wherein if there were no jobs, the government came up and then employed people to do jobs that didn't need to be done, which meant that more accurately, there's no efficient way to do what should not be done at all. So if you had 20 people doing the job which one person should have done, in theory, you aren't really creating employment. You probably are promoting waste. So for the first time in a while, you found out that rather than take an ill-thought shotgun approach to employing a large number of people to just do nothing and swallow up the civil service and create all sorts of variants, for the first time you saw that they took a competitive process wherein entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, which means the people who in the private sector have proven competence or have shown a burning desire to drive economic growth, sustainable economic growth, okay, who want to be in the driver's seat, who want to be captains of industry, were actually empowered in a manner that ensured that they could actually invest these resources in an appropriate way. I understand the program is called the UN program, and I think they've done a very good job. It's one of the ways the government is approaching the job creation in a manner that is sustainable. How and why? The key driver, I mean, the man or the person or the woman or the hero or the heroine who has to brave the odds is now that entrepreneur or the aspiring entrepreneur whose burning desire ensures that such a person would keep the business afloat for a very long while. So, if such a person were given it as a loan, because of the need to meet moratoriums and repayment terms, they may not be able to invest it in the most effective way. So it becomes a grant. And then for them to be entitled to something better than a grant, they have to win it. So because they've won it, it's free money, but it's earned money. And because of that, it means that they pick from the business plans, people who've shown key indices, who've met certain sectorial requirements, and I think they've done pretty good in that respect. I also think also with the recent compromise they've come to terms with respect to education, they're interested in investing significantly in tertiary education, which would also empower a lot of people in this knowledge-based economy in Africa to compete with their compatriots in other parts of the world.
Now we have a lot of private sector participation in the upcoming, next year's World Economic Forum. Now, how important do you think that is to this forum?
The job creation?
Private sector participation.
I think private sector participation is extremely important in that regimes may change. In theory, government is a continuum, but regimes may change, policies may be reversed, priorities might change, but the private sector, by virtue of its nature, by virtue of its tenets and maxims, it's almost a continuum. So if you actually invited those people and they bought into the program, they're likely to keep running it. For self-gain, for personal aggrandizement, for corporate social responsibility reasons, for a number of other very good reasons, they will also keep it running. Yes, they will keep it running.
We'll have a lot of investors coming, you're attending the World Economic Forum.
Okay.
Now, what do you think Nigeria should be selling to them, especially given the current security challenges we face in the country?
Nigeria is actually blessed with impressive human capital. We also are blessed with amazing arable land. We also have almost incomparable solid minerals. Across the breadth of the country, there are multiple sectors wherein if you did put in as little as about $100 or $10 million, you had returns that were difficult to match any other place in the world. Secondly, I was looking at the press this morning, I think one of the papers where the SSS correctly pointed out that they've used advanced technology to contain the threats. Yes, they've done a very good job. I think also that the small pocket where these things are happening, it has limited effect on the future prospects of Nigeria as a nation, as a very promising nation. And I know from an ICT point of view, when we've done key analysis, looked at indices and key point indicators, I know that it's the best place you want to put in money today because if you probably didn't do that, maybe in about 10, 20 years, you'd probably be wondering, what was I thinking? That's basically that, and that's exactly what I know. And again, with the new investments in the stock exchange, have you seen our new stock exchange? You should look at the platform. It's amazing. It means that we're ready to do business. We're ready to make these things accountable. And I think that's where any investor who wants to put in his money wants to consider, in addition to the fact that we're very sociable, one of the happiest peoples on earth. And I think these things come to make this country very wonderful.